I'm pleased to report that today there are no new cases of Covid-19 in New Zealand. So our total number of cases remains at 1,153, that's confirmed cases, and the total confirmed and probable at 1,503. Another 5 cases have been categorised as recovered, and that then brings the total to 1,452, which is 97% of all cases. There are no additional deaths to report, and today there is just one person in hospital, still in Middlemore Hospital and not requiring intensive care. Yesterday our labs processed 6,113 tests. Our grand total now is 244,838 completed. I want to give a reminder today about flu vaccines and to encourage Kiwis to get their vaccine, especially as the weather noticeably starts to get a bit colder. You'll recall that this year we had ordered a record number of 1.76 million vaccines of the Southern Hemisphere vaccine, and that's now been open for everyone to be able to get vaccinated for the last 2.5 weeks. We are still asking our immunisation providers, though, to just keep back some of that vaccine for our high needs groups who may need it over coming months, for example, pregnant women. We have also, I'm pleased to say, secured with Pharmac an extra 360,000 doses of the Northern Hemisphere vaccine, which were available. Those have arrived in the country. They have passed through the regulatory process and have been approved for use in healthy people aged 3 to 64. Now, this vaccine is not quite the same for components as the Southern Hemisphere vaccine. It's an absolute match for 2 of the 4 components, provides some partial protection for a third, and the other strain of virus that is in it is not a match for the existing Southern Hemisphere vaccine. However, the advice has been very clear from our experts that this would, using this vaccine would afford useful protection to Kiwis, and that will now be available to be used once the supplies of our Southern Hemisphere vaccine have been all given to people. So that vaccine, as I say, is available and for order from this week, and I would encourage Kiwis again to go out and get the flu jab. And that will mean we'll have a total of around 2.1 million doses of flu vaccine available to be used this winter. It is of much more value in people's arms than it is sitting on the shelf, so please do go out and get your flu jab. Just a comment on funerals and tangihanga. Since we moved to Alert Level 2 just over a week ago, funeral directors have been able to register funerals and tangihanga to enable groups of up to 50 to participate if they can confirm that they've got public health precautions in place. And I'm pleased to say that since the start of Alert Level 2, around 650 funerals and tangihanga have been registered. Some of these will be relate to the same event because there may be a registration for a service at a church and also one at a crematorium, but I'm really pleased to see that that system has been working very well and enabling families and friends to get together and grieve for lost family members. An update on the New Zealand COVID Tracer app. We continue to be encouraged by the number of Kiwis who have registered, as at midday today, 236,000 registrations for the app. So if people haven't downloaded it, I continue to encourage you to do so. It will help us in our overall efforts to contact you quickly if we need to. So noting that identifying, tracing and isolating contacts is a very key part of our overall effort. Businesses are going through the process of getting their QR code, and to date 6,500 QR codes have been generated by businesses. I understand yesterday some people with some phone models had trouble locating the app in the Google Play Store. We've worked with Google to make sure it is much more obvious and can be found more easily, and also there were some phone users who had trouble either downloading the app or registering. We've already done updates to try and fix any bugs that were there, and this is something that of course happens when a new app is made available. We did some user testing beforehand, but of course the app wasn't tried on every single model of phone, but we are addressing those issues as they arise. And also today we've published draft standards and the related specifications for developers of other apps, who will then, if they use those standards and specifications, be able to have their app use that single New Zealand business number related QR code. So there will be only then a need for businesses or premises to display that single QR code that is related to the unique New Zealand business number. And just to confirm a word on privacy, the personal information that people provide when they register with the app is held only in the Ministry of Health, only for contact tracing, and any other data is held only on your phone, and you release it if requested and if you wish to, if you are contacted. On a final note, as you'll be aware, bars and pubs reopen today under Alert Level 2. Mind you, while we remain in Alert Level 2, they do so under the same requirements that are already in place for hospitality venues. That is to protect everybody's health and make sure we are not compromising the gains we have already made with COVID-19. So that includes, of course, limiting physical interaction between patrons from different groups and, of course, between staff and customers. It will be a great chance to catch up with a friend and support your local business. This may not, however, be the time to publicly try out any new dance moves you have learnt over the lockdown. So do have fun if you're heading out to a bar or pub in coming days, but do support the staff by ensuring that you do so from your seat and you're within your small group. And just finally, a word on the contact details that you will be or already being asked to provide when you visit a hospitality venue. Please ensure you give the correct details. The whole purpose of this is to ensure that you can be contacted to protect your health and, of course, the health of your family and the wider community should it be necessary.